Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to seek your attention into one news item. I'm going to read out Franklin Templeton case. The Supreme Court directs SBI fund not to disburse the remaining rupees 534 crores till further orders. The Supreme Court directed SBI fund management, the agency distributing proceeds of the six wound up schemes of Franklin Templeton, not to disburse 534 crores till further orders, while issuing notice to SEBI, Franklin Templeton and others on an impediment made by financial advisors and distributors of these six debt schemes. A bench comprising of Justice Abdul Nazir and Sanjeev Khanna said that it will be best if further disbursement is halted for the time being, while giving a direction to SBI fund management to disburse their commission dues to the Foundation of Independent Financial Advisors, that is FIFA. This is FIFA India, which comprises of 1400 distributors, told the Apex Court that while dealing with the issue of the winding up schemes, no provision was made to safeguard the interest of the distributors, and these distributors are the mutual fund distributors who handle the client side, which means they are the ones who do the process of the final closure, the last mile or the last link between the manufacturer and the end investor, right? And why have they not been paid? Well, that is a long saga. Couple of years ago, Franklin Templeton ran foul of the market, and this was at the beginning of COVID, so must be April 2020, when they said six of our schemes comprising about 20 to 23,000 crores cannot be disbursed because or rather we are not sure about the liquidity, so allow us to do an orderly winding up so that people will get the money. A few people who were disgruntled with the whole thing for whatever reasons went to the court and right up to the Supreme Court, and the whole process got delayed. But the point to note is everybody got their money in full. What they lost was liquidity for that period. Now, when the shares or the debentures and bonds had to be sold and the money to be realized, the Supreme Court in its wisdom said, if I give everything to a PSU mutual fund, then I will not be criticized for doing something wrong. This is the same case of saying buy IBM and be safe. So their SBI was chosen not for any great skill of theirs in handling debt funds, but they were asked to sell the securities, realize the money and disburse. And needless to say, the portfolio must have been very good. For whatever reasons, SBI was able to sell it, and SBI did not try any politicking, did not try getting the credit for it. They did a very good clinical job of selling. Maybe somebody else could have done a little better, or somebody else could have got it a little worse, but the whole thing happened. So who lost in the whole case are the investors who stayed there for the period, who had no choice. So they lost liquidity for a period of approximately 2 years, but they got back their money with a rate of interest which was higher than what they could have got in any other scheme. So did they lose money? Answer is no. What really happened was Franklin Templeton got into a portfolio which was not very great for managing a liquid portfolio, which means if you wanted liquidity, there was no liquidity available in the portfolio. So who are all the players in the game? First, there is the manufacturer called Franklin Templeton, who comes out with a book saying this is the fund which I am going to manage, this is what I am going to do. Now there is a regulator called SEBI, who looks at the whole scheme and just does not approve or disapprove. He is not saying, oh, this is a great fund, put money. He is not saying anything. When he doesn't say anything, it means it is approved. There is no formal approval by SEBI. And then there are distributors who take the scheme and to their investors and say, look, this is a fund, this is what it will do, this will take risk, this will not take risk, or whatever is explained, and then the investors put in the money. Why do investors put in the money? Simply because they get returns, right? And the returns may be slightly more than what they could get in the bank or get somewhere else. For whatever reasons, people invest. Exactly why people invest in a bank fixed deposit is what people put here, but they have to understand, if they don't, it is their mistake. They have to understand that it is a slightly more risky product. Now COVID struck in March 2020, and then Franklin Templeton told the people that we will not be able to give the money, and then the whole saga followed. Now who got penalized? Now it is very easy for the regulator to say, oh, you have invested big amounts of money, you have done transactions of 500 crores. When somebody invests 50,000 crores or 2 lakh crores or 1 lakh crores, which is the size of many debt portfolios today, transactions will be big, right? There is no doubt. Should they have taken so much of risk? The jury is out on it. I am not wanting to comment on that. Now SEBI is asking Franklin Templeton to pay in fine all the amount that they earned from this fund throughout the life of the fund, so which should be in the region of 500-600 crores. SEBI is telling the distributors that you don't deserve any money from April 2020 till the disbursement, which could have happened, which is still not completed. Because you did not do any work in this period. You just brought in the money, and you have to be penalized for not doing any work in this period, so you won't get paid. So, and then there are the others. Now there are employees of the fund who are being paid for that period, when they also did the job of calling up the end users and telling them, sorry, but you will get the money, right? So they have been paid. Where have they been paid from? They have been paid from the profit and loss of the Franklin Templeton, right? Could the distributors be paid from the profit and loss of the mutual fund? Answer is no, because SEBI says not only will you not pay them from there, but you will not pay them from anywhere else. If this is not micromanagement, I don't know what is micromanagement. Now, having said that, the distributor obviously have to protect their interest, because nobody else seems to be paying the price. The manufacturer, the user paid the price by losing liquidity for that period. The manager, which is Franklin Templeton, is being asked to give up all the profits which they have earned, all the income. I wouldn't even say profits, all the income that they have earned from those funds over this period of whenever they started till it is disbursed. All that money to be given back to the regulator, and I have no clue what the regulator will do with that money. I guess it will go into the investor protection fund, and I don't know what the investor protection fund does. It's supposed to do financial literacy education, whatever it means in this country. I don't understand financial literacy and financial education. I run a video channel called Subramani, where we talk about all these issues. Now, is it wrong for the distributors have gone to the Supreme Court? Well, that's what I think the regulator would say, because you're here to give service, right? Why did you sell this fund? Any of these questions can be asked. Should they have gone? My answer is yes, because in this whole process, nobody took care of the distributor, and the distributor is too fragmented. Now here the news item says 1400 members of FIFA. Let's understand one thing. There are effectively only 20,000, and I might be exaggerating if I say there are 20,000 distributors, even though it looks like there are 1 lakh distributors. If you look at the distributors paying GST, which means people who are earning at the gross at least 20 lakhs, that number will dwindle. It is, don't go by the number given by SEBI as to how many distributors are there. That figure is very, very wrong, right? So the question is, how many active MFDs are there, and what are they doing in terms of size? Can they afford to even come and fight? If you give up the top, say, maybe 5,000 distributors, below that they will not have enough money to pay for these 5-star lawyers in the Supreme Court. I know how much of these lawyers would cost. AM Singhvi is representing Franklin Templeton. I didn't see the name of the lawyer representing FIFA. Right. So given all these circumstances, they had to go to court. They had no choice. Will they get justice? Will they get the money because this money has already been provided for? Maybe the answer is yes. But what happens for somebody like SEBI? It is nice in a country which is so politically charged and which is so left wing to come up and give a big 500 crore order against a big corporation because it is thought to be soulless. I've seen insurance awards being made which is blatantly wrong simply because they said it's, just sympathy of the court. So 20 lakhs awarded, 30 lakhs awarded. This happens. It happens favoring the small man by charging a big corporation. But here the persons who are asked to contribute are small people, right? The manufacturer is a big guy perhaps, and the distributors are small people, but then they have to give up their sacrifice and they will be asked as to why did you even sell this product? It was too toxic. Now the question to ask is, there was a product design. The trustees had approved it, the managing director had signed it, it was filed with SEBI. SEBI must have seen what is being written in that, and SEBI was getting the monthly report of the portfolio from Franklin Templeton. It is not as though Franklin Templeton was hiding it. So the question to ask would be, if you are a neutral observer, what was SEBI doing? What was Franklin Templeton doing while the problem was being created, being built up? What were the trustees doing? What were the directors doing? What was the fund manager doing? What was the risk head doing? What was the managing director doing? What was the anybody else doing? What were all the others doing? What were all the others in the team doing? I have no answer to that. But the question is, the only person who has got to pay for it seems to be the manufacturer, and therefore implying is the distributor. At least the distributor is not being asked to gouge back the fees that he had already received during the pre-April 2020 period. So, well, welcome to this country. Welcome to what is going to happen. Keep watching this space. A lot of interesting things happening in this case and other things in the mutual fund space. Thank you for watching. Slightly longish, my apologies. Thank you.